In this video, we will go over the basics of a reflex arc. Let's start off with a little bit of terminology first. So reflexes can be either somatic, meaning that they result in the stimulation of skeletal muscle, or they can be autonomic, which means that they result in the stimulation of glands, smooth muscle, or cardiac muscle. Reflexes can also be either monosynaptic or polysynaptic. Right? A monosynaptic reflex means there is just one synapse, and so the sensory neuron would synapse directly onto the motor neuron. Polysynaptic reflex, on the other hand, has more than one synapse, so there is an interneuron in between the sensory and motor neuron. There can be one interneuron or there can be several for a polysynaptic reflex. All right, let's look at an actual reflex here. So reflexes are initiated when a receptor is activated. The receptor can vary depending on what the reflex is. So in this case, we have the pain of stepping on a toy will stimulate pain receptors in the foot. That will cause an action potential to be sent through our sensory neuron. That information will travel afferent, meaning towards the spinal cord. Here in the spinal cord, it will synapse with the integration center. This is where the sensory neuron is connected to the motor neuron. In this case, we do have this orange interneuron here, so it will form a synapse with our sensory neuron, and then it will send that information to the motor neuron here. All right, then that motor neuron will send an axon out of the spinal cord in the efferent direction, meaning it's exiting the spinal cord. And then that will travel out to our muscle here. The muscle here is called the effector, meaning that kind of like the final effect of the reflex is going to happen at this effector. In this case, it will cause this muscle to contract to help pull the foot away from that painful stimulus. All right, so this would be an example of a somatic reflex because we're activating skeletal muscle here. And it is also polysynaptic because we have an interneuron and therefore two synapses here in the spinal cord.